Let's go. I am J Pitch Presents. I am the life coach.
Okay, you coming by surprise in my brand new whip. Baby, meet me in the scope. If I'm gone, don't trip. Baby, bring it back to strong. Up the back, all hits, baby. Yeah, who wanna shot, wanna die, let me know I got two on the hip and a neck, no nigga D say you smooth like an R&B song. How you keep them hoes out your man, they killing me, no, uno, might kick shit like judo, giving out hoes, not kudos, probably fat like you know, yeah, I tell a bitch, eat it like Georgia, can't you see the wrist, whip it like Border Chris, I got a grip, bigger than Border Piss, and the shots ain't bringing my sword back, from the news to the trap, and a white no nigga D new to the top, and a rock new Tiffany, say you smooth like an R&B song. How you keep them hoes out your man, they kill me. Coming by surprise in my brand new whip. Baby, meet me in the scope. If I'm gone, don't trip. Baby, bring it back to strong. Up the back, all hits, baby. Okay, you coming by surprise in my brand new whip. Baby, meet me in the scope. If I'm gone, don't trip. Baby, bring it back to strong. Up the back, all hits, baby. It feel good since a nigga been back, but a nigga done change. We couldn't settle my fire, couldn't cover my pain. Lane. Swing. I see Gavin now, be right now. Boy, you always run around with a target on. If a nigga follow me to the car garage, I'ma spark it up. That's a Mac with a Mac and a Tonka trunk. Like my uncle son, got some thumping her, like a trumpet her. When it's crunking her, when it's dumping her, I'ma spark it up. Coming by surprise in my brand new whip. Baby, meet me in the scope. If I'm gone, don't trip. Baby, bring it back to strong. Up the back, all hits, baby. Coming by surprise in my brand new whip. Baby, meet me in the scope. If I'm gone, don't trip. Baby, bring it back to strong. Up the back, all hits, baby.
Yeah. I am J Pitch Presents. I am your life coach, and class is definitely in session. Yeah, it's been a while. We ain't been out on the live for what? I say 4 days? I say 4. 4, yeah, 4. Yeah, your boy had to get over little stomach food poisoning. But hey, it's life. It's life. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna go through things in life. It just feels good to, be back, but also too, being able to bounce back from different challenges in life. So with us, everybody goes through something. I've came to the conclusion that if you're not going through anything, you're not alive. So everybody is going through something, and some people's situations are, challenging than others. Man, me getting food poisoning that was rough. That was rough. I mean, but I pushed through as God gave me the strength. You know what I'm saying? I pushed through it, but hey, it's just something. Everybody, I just know through life, man, you're going to go through things. And it's not what you go through, but it's how you respond. It's how you respond. A lot of people, when you go through, you just go through. No, when you go through, you need to respond. There needs to be a response. And I don't mean a response like you give in to whatever is going on with you negatively. No, you respond by changing the narrative, turning the negative into a positive, doing something about what you've been through or what you're going through, showing some type of plan, preparation, strength, willpower, whatever you need to do, however you need to do to change your circumstance. A lot of times a lot of us will go through something and we just go through. No, it's not meant for you to just go through. You need to respond. You wouldn't even know who you are or even know what you're made of if you just rolled over every time life hit you. That's why it's called adversity. It's adversity, so, you know what I'm saying, to reveal who you are, what you stand for, and what you need to work on. Where you weak at. Where you need to be actually building and investing when it comes to your self-development. I'm going to tell you something. If you ain't taking care of you, then you ain't good for nobody else too. I said, if you ain't taking care of you, then you're no good for anybody else too. It's not even beneficial. It's not beneficial because you're not taking care of self. And let's just correct how people are moving out here in these streets. Because there's no way possible you could better you focusing on somebody else. A lot of people, like I made this post last week, a lot of people will say in 2021, I'm working on self. I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself. I'm getting myself together. Most people who are saying that are males and females. Meaning, females, when they say I'm working on self, that just means somebody else is working on them, or the reality is like you're entertaining or exercising your options, meaning multiple men. When a male does it, I'm working on me. That means, man, he just want to play around. He might just be coming for one thing. He wouldn't mind just having one thing from you, get something out of you, whatever that thing may be. But he's really not looking for a relationship or a serious commitment. So when a man or a real woman says that they're working on themselves, they're actually doing what they say they're going to do. They're actually doing what they say they're going to do. When a real man says he's working on himself, he sees some opportunity of growth within himself that he needs to work on. So that if there is an opportunity, if he wanted to move forward in a relationship, he would be able to go into that relationship with a healthy mind frame. When a real woman says that she is working on herself, she understands that, you know, her self-development, self-growth, healing, All this is important, and she understands also that she cannot do this entertaining somebody else because it takes away from the more time she could be putting towards herself. So understand when you're talking to a male or a female versus a real man and a real woman. Because a lot of y'all don't realize you're dealing with a male or a female. You're dealing with a male or a female. You're not dealing with a real woman or a real man. Because a real man and a real woman going to do exactly what they say they're going to do. A real man and a real woman take pride in what they say and what they do. A real man and real woman is serious about what they say and what they're going to do. A real man and real woman don't play about what they say they're going to do. So a lot of times when y'all are interacting with the opposite sex or same sex, whatever, however, know when you're dealing with a male and a female, somebody who's saying one thing, but they really doing a whole other thing behind closed doors. And then one moment you just like, boom. Oh, you're doing this? Oh, you're doing that? Oh, that's because you was talking to a male or you was talking to a female. You wasn't talking to a real man or a real woman. See, when a male and a female is saying, I'm working on me, I'm getting me together, I need to work on myself, I'm healing, I need to heal. Or when a male says that, I'm not ready yet, all he really saying is, man, hey, look, man, I'm just looking for something simple, something easy. Maybe you can cook for me. Maybe I can have a little sex here and there. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing serious. He ain't literally, he not really seeking no commitment. He's not really seeking no commitment. Nothing long term. He might be in and out. What up, Deacon Z? He might be in and out. And you got to understand when you're talking to a male. A female will say, I'm working on myself. I'm working on self. I'm working on self. Man, she not working on self. Grand rising to you, Miss Cherry. Appreciate you. She not working on self. She getting worked on. She's being worked on. Or the reality is she's a female that is exercising her option, entertaining multiple men. So y'all got to understand when you are talking to a male and a female versus a real man and a real woman. Because a real man and a real woman going to do exactly what they say and what they serious about what they say and what they do. They serious. They real serious about what they say and what they do. A male and a female, you playing that teenage game. You playing that young bulls game. That's the game that they playing out there in the streets. They bring up their childhood. They bring up all these things. But I'm telling you, there's more people out here in the streets that can bring up what they've been through, but ain't working on nothing. There are more people out here in the streets that got trauma, and even some will acknowledge their trauma. But if you ask them how much of that trauma they're working on or addressing, they're just transferring accounts into other people's lives, inconveniencing other people's energies and spirits. That's all they doing. You ask them how many times they've been to therapy, they can count off one hand how many times they've been in a session. They're not serious. And that's what males and females do. Now, real men and real women, they're going to address it because they see the importance of it. See, I don't know why folk play games with their lives, because the reality is, man, you got to be with you all day for the rest of your life. So the longer you prolong you not addressing your personal issues, you keep yourself from some of the best moments and opportunities of your life. And I'm going to tell you something. I guarantee you, I bet my bottom dollar on it. I guarantee you, when you start addressing your traumas and your issues, you'll say to yourself, man, I should have been did this. I should have been talked about this. I should have been addressed my issues. I should have been addressed my pain. I should have been addressed some childhood trauma, childhood situations. I should have been did this. You know why? Because you was afraid. That fear, I'm going to tell you, fear don't just keep you from blessings, success. Fear can keep you from healing. Fear can keep you from great relationships, love. Fear can keep you from so much. That's why the scripture says God don't give us the spirit of fear. Well, where you get it from then? Where you get it from? God don't give us the spirit of fear. Yeah, okay. Well, why you walking around here with it? Why you carrying that energy with you? Why you moving in such? Who told you to move in a fearful way? Meaning you're full of fear versus faith. Who told you to move as such? See, a lot of us don't realize, man, you being deceived from some of the greatest opportunities because of fear. Some of y'all have been blessed in so many different ways, but you could have been blessed with what you got. But fear kept you. Some of y'all don't even realize fear has kept you for dang near 1 year, dang near 4 years, dang near 6 years, 10 years. You could have did this, that, and the third, but fear kept you stagnant. This is why I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say it. I've been saying this. The devil is robbing people from their time, stealing your time. Stealing your time. Because a lot of us have supposed to been did this, had this, accomplished that, but fear kept you. Some of y'all care too much what people think and what people got to say that don't even contribute to your household. I wish I would. I wish I would. Nah, not even a little bit. See, y'all got to become free. And guess what's going to give you freedom more than fear? Faith. Faith gives you freedom from so much torment in your mind. Faith gives you freedom to be able to take leaps that you never leaped before. Faith will separate you from them curses that you've been functioning up under from your family. Some of y'all walking around here right now with curses that you didn't even create. That came from your mama and them. That came from your daddy and them. That came from auntie and uncle them. Them traumas and curses didn't come from you. That came from your lineage. That prior generation that didn't have the courage to break them. And what they do is transfer over. Some of y'all walking around with curses, wonder why you up and down emotionally, mentally. Why you so jacked up spiritually. These traumas and curses didn't come from you. That came from your family tree. You know how they say, man, all I got to do is shake the bush to see what's in it? Well, that family tree got some roots, some deep, dark, secret roots that need to be pulled up. Because they're affecting the new leaves, the new branches. that's growing in the family tree. And if you don't address your issues, your children going to become collateral damage to your own trauma. To your own trauma. So what was once your mama's or your daddy's, now you inherit that. You won't address it. What now was once yours will become your sons or your daughters. It will become your sons and your daughters because you won't address it. Some of y'all walk around here with traumas and curses, and it ain't even yours because it didn't begin with you. It didn't begin with you, but you got to address it, though. What a strong mind. I see you, Queen. You are God's design. It's Friday. Put a yay on your Friday. I'm going to tell you something. You got to address these issues because they come to grow, dictate, and influence. And now you walking around here influencing your children, and now they walk around thinking just like you in a negative way. Those same ways that are hurting you are now hurting them. And they're moving as such. And this is no good for a future, but you're not trying to change the present. We got to start nipping stuff in the bud, as my mother would say. As quick as things come, you need to address them so they can go. When something that don't have value in your house, what you do, you throw it in the trash. You don't just stop there. You put it in the little trash to only prepare it to go to the big trash when the garbage can is full. Well, we got to practice these things mentally, spiritually, financially, sexually, every aspect of your life until your life is healthy. And you need your own spiritual, personal temple, body, life needs your own recycling bin. Because a lot of these things that we keep, we hold on to, we entertain, ain't healthy for you. See, man, folk a lot of times get discouraged with me because I don't entertain things where there is no benefits. Like, Jeff, you always gotta, no, it ain't that I always do it. I understand life. Baby, this is my time. This is my time you talking about. So don't question me when I only want to put myself in positions and areas where it's only healthy. My time is valuable. When you gonna start putting respect on yours? Put some love, value on your time. I'm not compromising my time for nobody. Because at the end of the day, I have a responsibility just like you do. So if you woke up this morning unhappy, that's your responsibility to manage your levels of happiness. It's you. What up, mama? Bless you. Love you dearly. Bless all my family in the ATL. It's your job. I've never woke up in the morning and said to myself, let me see who's going to make me happy. Do you hear how crazy that sounds? But that's how y'all function, though. I've never woke up and say, all right, who about to make me happy? Let me go see who's going to make me happy. No, that's my job. Happiness starts with me. Happiness, and then once I obtain it, it's my job to protect it, manage it, nurture it. I've never looked outside of me and looked for somebody to manage my happiness. That's some weak way of thinking and feeling and functioning. If you can't enjoy you, don't expect nobody else to. If you can't love you, don't expect nobody else to. Because there ain't nothing but wolves in sheep clothing out here that will take advantage of who you are and how you are. I'm telling you right now, don't play with it. I've never looked outside of me for somebody or someplace or something to make me happy. I understand life. I got to learn how to enjoy me. I got to discover me before I can discover trying to find happiness, love, relationship, bonds with somebody outside of Jeff. So the reality is, you got poor management. If you use something outside of you to make you happy, it's going to be short-lived. You know why it's going to be short-lived? Short-lived because you're going against universal law, principles, and values. Happiness got to start from within. Love got to start from within. Completeness got to start from within. Y'all looking for money. Y'all looking for a man. Y'all looking for a woman. Y'all looking for materials. Y'all looking for all these things outside of you. And it's going to be short-lived at the end. If you can't begin this from within, it's worthless. It ain't worth it. It's a big waste of time. It ain't worth it you trying to find things, other entities, to make you happy. You got to learn how to first be happy with you. The right people, I say this so much because I understood this as a kid. As a youngin', I understood this. And this is why sometimes when I move a certain type of way, it's dang near like I'm moving like a foreigner. One thing Dick Gregory said a long time ago. He says, when the universe picks you to see things for what it is, you can't unsee it. You can't unlook it. You can't unfeel it. You can't even pretend. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. And some of you don't, and that's okay. But I'm going to tell you something. As a kid, I would sit to myself and I say, man, you know what, man, I got to work on me. I got to make sure I'm good. I got to do me. I got to do me. And a lot of times, even my childhood friends wouldn't understand. To a point that some of my childhood friends felt that I was better than them. No, but I understood before I can join the crowd, I had to discover, come on, speak, God. I had to discover me. So there was times that I would go hang with the group, and there was times I would be to myself. How can I know me if I'm always with the crowd? I'm always with the crew. I had to discover myself. What does Jeff like? Everybody running doing this. Well, then guess what? If I don't have my own identity, then I'm going to do that too. If everybody's going left, if I don't have my own identity, then I'm going left too. So I had to discover me. You'll be amazed at how many people that are alive right now that are of age that have yet to discover knowledge of self, true knowledge of self, getting to know you, the adult you. Because when you was a kid, you probably like Fruity Pebbles. And when you got older, you probably Honey Nut Cheerios. When are you going to begin to discover you? You. So when it comes to this, man, I always said, you know what? I'm going to be me. But to be me, I got to discover me first. I had to spend some time with me. So there was times that my mama got a dead end still to this day that I would run suicides up and down. And I would spend time with myself running and training for basketball. There would be times that I would sit in my room and just read books while everybody was outside on my basketball goal playing ball. Because my mom's house was the neighborhood hangout spot. So, and I had a basketball goal, but every day I didn't go play basketball. And Lord knows I love to play basketball, but I still understood that I needed to spend time with myself. So while the homies would go be hooping on my goal, I would be in my room reading a book. Reading a book. Understanding spirituality, praying. Trying to understand asthma, because I had chronic asthma. So understanding breathing tactics. Why do my body react to this? Why do my body react to that? I was doing something way left than what the average child was doing. So the reality is, you got to discover you. What are you going to discover yourself before you die? Before you get up out of here? Get to know yourself for who you are. What do you want? Let me just stop at that point right there and ask you, at this point of life, what do you want? What do you want out of this life? You got new time today. New time. What you want out of this life? And what are you willing to do to actually get to where you want to be? You only get one life. I have to say this so much because people don't realize it. I said this to an older woman day before yesterday. I said this to a woman the day before yesterday, and she stopped and thinked. She said, "You know what? You're right. I needed to hear that." And I said, I'm telling you, you only get one. You only get one life. And when you die, you're going to be dead a lot longer than you are alive. So what does that mean? God is saying your time is so valuable. So valuable. Your time is so valuable, you don't even realize it until you're dead. That's how valuable your time is. You don't even realize it until you're gone. That's why I say, Lord, yeah, you've been with you. You was born with you. You're going to be with you for the rest of your life. You're even going to die with you. Why aren't you taking care of you, choosing you first? If you're not priority one this morning, you losing. Because you was born with you. You've been with you. You're going to be with you for the rest of your life. You're even going to die with you. And when you die, you're going to be dead a lot longer than you are alive. So please tell me where you got all the time in the world to be wasting it. Please tell me where you got time to allow somebody else to waste your time. If folk don't want to do right, don't want to be right, you got to learn how to let people go. I'm not apologizing for doing what I need to do for what's best for me and mine. Life, you can't be here today and go on tomorrow. I don't know why y'all sit up and wake up every day playing or allow somebody else to play. You got to take you serious before somebody else can take you serious. Some of y'all, the reason why folk treat you as such is because you don't love yourself enough. Life becomes more fulfilling when you put more value on your access and your time. I'm going to tell you, that's why folk, yeah, they be like, oh, man, Jeff off the chain. Nah, it ain't that I'm off the chain. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Because the reality is, man, we sit around and waste too much time allowing people to dictate how we feel, how we think, how we make our day-to-day decisions. You care too much about people. Everybody that has been through something ain't working through what they've been through. What's going on, Goldilocks? Everybody that has been through trauma ain't worked on their trauma, and they probably never will. The reality is, we need to focus on yourself. Self-development, self-growth, building you. Even if everybody around you or the people that you're tied to or even the people that's outside of you, it don't matter. If they don't want to work on themselves, that they got to live with them. You got to be with you for the rest of your life. So you got to address your issues if you want better opportunity. At some point in your life, you just got to take a deep breath and say, man, I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want to care about that. I don't want to worry about that. I'm not going to allow that to affect me anymore. That's not going to have dominion over me. That's not going to have power over me. I don't care what people got to say about that. I'm not afraid of this. I'm not going to worry about that no more. At some point, you got to get tired, because tired equals immediate change, meaning planning, preparation, meaning you about to make some moves. If y'all don't look at the world right now in this state, it's time to put your bootstraps on. This world is changing whether you are ready for it or not. They're setting boundaries right before our eyes. We don't know what 2022 gonna look like. The way boundaries are trying to be set up or put in place right now. I'm going to tell you something. You better take your gift, your God-given ability to second nature, and you better use it. You better get your LLC. You better invest into your intellectual property. You better start. You ain't got to go to school to do this. When it come to certain things, you better learn something more about your body. And learn more about your health. About health. That's one thing. You better start exercising and expounding on your gifts. And turn it into a business. Because what you prepared to do when they tell you got to do certain things to make money. Or you can't come back to your job. You got to do certain things. It's just like saying, well, I got to do 100 backer flips, 20 cartwheels. I got to give a pint of blood. I mean, it's all a game. It's a big game because it's a system of control. The reality is, as the world turns, where you turning to? Where you going? What are you prepared to do? Are you going? No. What are you prepared to do? Because the reality is. You do? Yeah, keep it down. The reality is, when it comes to our life, man, which, let's just address the elephant in the room. A lot of people aren't, I would say, with people, a good majority of relationships that we've all been in wasn't so much about love. In certain instances, there was a need. Folk needed you versus loved you. It's a known fact that more people get in relationships for needs versus love. And it's a known fact. I say it's to say, just like what? Just think about it. A lot of people wasn't raised to love or raised to know how to love. Some of y'all, your mama or daddy barely even hugged you. Never gave you affirmation. Man, I grew up with some childhood friends who parents never told them that they loved them. I got two homeboys where their mom changed the refrigerator until she got home. I couldn't imagine coming home with chains wrapped around the whole refrigerator. And I couldn't get in it and eat out of it until my mother got home. Until my mother got home. So that means getting off the school bus, I would have to fend for myself until whenever my mom get home, because all the food is locked up in the refrigerator. I couldn't, man, like, when they would come to my house, man, I would just give them stuff. I would just give them stuff out of my house. Because I couldn't fathom me coming home and seeing a lock or chains wrapped around my mama's refrigerator, and we had to figure out where we was going to get food. So just think about them on a real hungry day, what they would do. Hit the street. Go to the nearest convenience store. Steal. Do whatever they got going somebody else's house. Steal. Because they trying to survive. They don't know where their food going to come from until their mama get home. Like, you just never know what people done been through. That's why I don't judge nobody. I don't talk to them. I mean, I treat people how I want to be treated. And if I don't do nothing else, I impute love. I show love. But the reality is, a lot of people wasn't raised to know how to love. And that's why when they get in relationships, the relationships don't last. Relationships don't last because they wasn't raised to love. They were raised to survive. Folk wasn't raised to love. You said what? Go get your bootleg. A lot of folk wasn't raised to love. They was raised to survive. Hold on. Which one? Okay. A lot of people wasn't raised to love, but they're trying to get in relationships, but wonder why their relationship won't last. A relationship won't last if folk don't understand it because they wasn't raised to love. They wasn't even loved to be able to. You can't give nothing out you don't obtain. You haven't felt consistently. You haven't felt that love. You haven't been given that affirmation. You haven't been nurtured with that energy. You haven't felt that power. You haven't went into that aura of what this mother and father nature was created for two people to come together to build. Some people have never felt that. Some people don't even know what it even really truly feels. Some people are of age and never experienced that. So the reality is, some people, you gotta be able to be at a high level of consciousness that your third eye is open, that you can actually see things for what it is. It's a high level of consciousness. Where you can see, okay, this person was raised to survive. They wasn't raised to know how to love. And that is a big difference. That's a big difference. It's a big difference. So don't be shocked when you're in a relationship and it don't last. 9 times out of 10, that person wasn't getting in a relationship with you because they loved you. They got in it because they needed you. There was a need there at the time. And it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. That's what it is.
Let the TV on.
Let me see that. Let me see. Good. Sorry, y'all. I had to get my little one. Y'all know how it is with my poodle mama. I had to get my poodle together. But I'm going to tell you something. This don't even come from just your mom and your daddy. This don't even come from just your mom and your daddy. This comes from slavery. In slavery, what did our people have to do? They fought to survive. Now, did they love each other? Some did. Some betrayed each other. But the most common energy that came out of slavery was survival more than love. So just think about all the trauma, curses, and energy that have been transferred over and over and over and over into different families. Folk have not been raised to love. They've been raised to survive. So you got people that are adults now getting in relationships, jumping in relationships strictly just to survive. It ain't about love. And this comes from slavery. Because the most common energy that came out of slavery was survival. They were just trying to survive. So how can you focus on natural elements of great energy when you're forced to just focus on trying to survive? Some daughters and some sons aren't raised to love. They wasn't taught how to love. And that's why you got these women that's out here going out here saying, yeah, I need a baller. I need this. I need that. What are they saying? Oh, I was taught how to survive. I need this type of man so I can survive. I can survive. Some of these men, or I would say males, will, have this strong type of attachment to their mother in a certain type of way because of that energy from the past. It's survival. They're trying to survive. So a lot of times after you've came out from your nest and you align yourself with a woman, it's like, okay, you surviving. Let me see if I can trick this girl out of this. They talking about surviving. Because that ain't aligned to love. That's not attached to love. That's not attached to what love or relationships truly is. A lot of folk wasn't raised how to love, and they probably never will know how to love if they don't call an ace a spade, and they don't address their underlying issues or break these different cycles or curses that's coming from your family. Some of these roots in the family tree got to be pulled up, because now you're of age with children. You're going to be looking at you all over again. You're going to be looking at you function the way you've been functioning for the next 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. No, I don't want my children to be me. I want them to be better than me. A whole lot better than me. And I made the mistakes, so you don't have to make the mistakes. There's a difference. So the reality is, folk not in relationships for love. They in relationships because they need you. Because they was raised to survive. They was raised to survive, not love. And this same survival energy comes from slavery. Because our lineage and our people, the most consistent energy that came out of slavery was survival. Because that's all people were trying to do in that time, was trying to survive. So, yeah, if you got your money right, don't be shocked when anybody and everybody wants you for your money. They come from survival. If you got assets or you got this, that, and the third, yeah, it's not shocking when people want to be with you. They might be homeless or threaten to be homeless. They're trying to survive. The way you turn this thing around from what our people have been through, our history, is taking a bad thing and making it good, making it positive. So when it comes to this love and survival thing, find you somebody that you can survive with. Somebody you can build with. Because if y'all are contributions to each other, then you can create and form true love. But if it's one-sided, then either one, you're gonna feel used, you're gonna feel abused, it's gonna be hard to build, things gonna go left, and then history is just simply repeating itself. So the reality is, when it comes to the relationship, knowing somebody just surviving, and then just tell them, hey man, you need to work on you. You're not qualified for no relationship. You gotta work on you and get yourself together. Work on yourself. Work on yourself and get yourself together so that work on yourself. What, Pooh? Okay. But the reality is, come here. The reality is, when it comes to how we operate, I'm all about legacy and love. I'm all about building our community. So it's all about us having a intellectual conversation where we can build our intellectual property and build. Build a foundation that we can stand on. Because what it's doing to the family tree or our ecosystem of growth, what it's truly doing is turning us into wolves, where we out here devouring each other instead of building with each other. It's like that Deacon Z say, like, man, like, shout out to Deacon Z. It's just like that crab in a barrel mentality. Folk are becoming successful, but it's off another man's back or off another woman's neck. Or you gotta snake somebody to get this. You gotta behoove somebody to get that. I'm telling you, no, man. It's turning this survival type of mode. Ain't doing nothing but turning people into wolves. And it's taking away the opportunity for people to have real, healthy relationships. Because people were raised to survive, not taught how to love. Love can conquer all things. When the scripture says love conquer all, it means everything. You say, Jeff, everything? Yes, everything. Love conquers all. Everything. Everything. But you can't be a wolf desiring love. Love is gentle. Love is kind. Love comes with great temperament. Love is patient. That's not the mentality of a wolf. A wolf comes to devour, survive, take, shake, do whatever it has to do just to live. But see, in relationships, man, you can't be no wolf. Not to your mate. Some folk, man, will bite the head off their mate just to survive. Because you was raised to survive. Man, y'all just gotta come to the conclusion with certain people that they wasn't properly raised. Because you see how they operate. When I hear another person say, that's just where I come from, that's just who I am, that's just what I do, but who you are, what you do, where you come from, out doing all that ain't even successful. You ain't accomplished nothing from that. It ain't been beneficial. It ain't been beneficial. And you ain't trying to change it, but yet you still saying you want to function this way. Man, that's how you know somebody cursed. Because the reality is, there's no way I'm going to say, okay, this is how my mama raised me, but I'm struggling in life today because of that way, and I ain't trying to change it. That's ludicrous to me. That's crazy to me. What worked for mama might have worked for mama, but it might not work for you. What worked for daddy might work for daddy, but that might not work for you. In football, since football season is coming up, the coach can have a game plan all day long. Y'all should see. I'm telling you, they watch film, they practice all week long. All week long, they practice, preparing for this team. But when the game starts, something can change. And what do the coach do? What do the quarterback do? They call an audible. That means it might work for one game. It might work the first play. It might work the first half. But it might not work the second half. You got to be able to be adjustable and call an audible. Some of y'all won't even change just because you said, well, that's all I know. That's how I've always done things. And I'll be sitting here listening like, you really want to be a fool, huh? I sit in these sessions and I say, you really don't want to change, huh? You're okay with the outcome. You're just venting. You don't want to change your circumstance. You just want to filter so you can go back to it. You're venting. See, when I say venting, come on, God, when it comes to the analogy, like every 90 days, I change my vents out. Every 90 days. But those of you who change the vents, mostly men do it, but some women might do it also. You do know that there's dust and brown or whatever stuff that's sitting in the old pad that comes out, and you got to clean all that off. If you don't clean it off, man, it's going to stop the opportunity for air to flow freely. So what you got to do is clear it so new air can come through. That's the same thing with venting when you're having a session. When you're venting, you're releasing negativity just to clear yourself. The only difference is when you're venting in a session, some people are venting to not change the error of their ways. They're venting just so they can fill up new trash. You ain't no different from the dumpster. You ain't no different from your garbage can in your kitchen. You ain't no different because what you do, you fill that up with trash, bag it up, take it outside just to fill it up with some more trash. God said you can do that in the kitchen with your garbage can in your kitchen, but you shouldn't be doing it with your body. You shouldn't be doing it with your mind. You shouldn't be doing it with your heart. You shouldn't be doing that with your temple. No. When you vent with the body when you vent, you filter to replace it with something good. But there are too many people that are venting, please. There are people that are venting, but they're literally not clearing themselves or stopping themselves. They're being no different from how they use their kitchen garbage can. It's more trash on top of more trash. You're putting trash when you get full, you need a session. You vent, then you go back to the same old trash. Just like I told a client 2 weeks ago. I said, hey, if you love this no good man, you just love this no good man because apparently you're venting. You're not tired because tired equals immediate change. You're venting. You know different from that garbage can in the kitchen, baby. Because I'm telling you right now, what you're doing right now is when the garbage can gets full in the kitchen full of trash, you bag it up, take it outside. Fill the garbage can back up full of trash. Take it outside. Fill the garbage can back up full of trash. Then you're taking it back outside. That's what you're doing with your relationship. Come on, speak, God. Speak, God. That's what you're doing with your relationship. When you're dealing with somebody that's no good. Because you have no intentions of leaving the relationship. You just want to vent so you can take whatever's in your spirit outside. You're taking it outside so you can fill it up some more with new trash. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing with your temple, your body. That's all you're doing. You're not seeking newer opportunities. You're not trying to change the dynamics of your relationship in a healthier way. You're not tired of what you've been through or what you're going through. You're not tired of pain and struggle. So I'm telling you right now, is your life right now the garbage can in the kitchen? Or are you really truly seeking change? Meaning you're tired of what you've been through and what you're going through. When I put in the title, your past is dictating your future. What I meant by that is, folk wasn't raised and taught how to love. They was just simply taught how to survive. Folk couldn't love you the right way if you paid them to do it. Because the reality is, a lot of households some people don't have the courage to step up in that stance and nurture with love. My mother, I'm going to tell you something. If she didn't do nothing else, man, she showed us that we were loved. If she didn't do nothing else, she taught us about love. I'm going to tell you, I think that could have been one of the best things. Her wisdom on a lot of things was gold. It's gold. But I'm going to tell you, one of the best gifts, I think the best gift she ever gave her sons was the power to love. If she didn't want us to know anything else, she wanted us to know that we were loved and what true love was all about. She put in the time. She made the sacrifices. Even when it was hard. And I look back and I say, you know what? Everybody didn't get this type of raising. And that's why when folk have become adults, they have that wolf mentality. They have that Wolverine spirit. That fight for survival. That's why some of y'all are being in relationships and you feel like you're in competition with your mate. Because you're dealing with a wolf or a Wolverine. You're dealing with somebody who was taught simply just how to survive. And this stems and comes from slavery. It's like, do what I gotta do just to make it. Do what I gotta do just to, you know what I'm saying, be able to eat. Do what I gotta do just to have shelter. Do what I gotta do. Y'all just gotta come to the grips of things that some people just didn't love you. And that's okay. The truth will set you free. It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. You just got to come to the grips and think some people just never loved you. They was just surviving. They were just simply surviving. It's a cold truth that can be warmed with reality. And taking the moment to not just hear, but understand. But understand to a level where you don't become bitter about it. You learn. Like I always say, learn lessons equal high power blessings. You learn. So the reality is, yeah, folk don't love you. They need you. Because they was raised to survive. They wasn't raised to know how to love and teach how to love. Hey, love comes when people maturely know how to come together. Love comes when people maturely know how to come together and they ain't on no snaking type, fake type, immature type, deceiving type demeanor, Wolverine type actions. When you dealing with a real man and a real woman, I'm telling you, some of y'all don't know, y'all dealing with males and females. No, you need a real man, baby. Kings and queens, you need a real woman. Kings, you need a real woman.
Can you keep the ball for me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Come on, Daddy.
I'm going to tell you, you need a real woman. A real man. That's the reality. Real. You need something real. You know why you need something real? Because God wants you to see what you've been missing out on. A lot of y'all don't know what you've been missing out on. Because you've only dealt with one side of the spectrum. One side of the table. Let me make sure you don't mess it up. One side of the spectrum. One side of the table. Because you've been dealing with males and females. That's all you've been dealing with was males and females. You haven't truly properly met or been with a real man and a real woman. And I'm going to tell you something. There's some old fools too. Don't get deceived because somebody's older that they're better. No. You'll get deceived or behooved real quick behind that. You'll get deceived real quick behind that. No. That ain't it. The reality is, when it comes to this life, you got to see people for who they really are. If you don't see people for who they really are, I'm telling you right now, you're going to waste a lot of time. You're going to set yourself up for a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. You might even be discouraged. You might even be really discouraged. A lot of people are discouraged because of a lot of their choices and decisions. But it's okay, man. I'm going to tell you something, man. A person who is afraid to fail is no different from a person who is afraid to love. Because this person, y'all got to understand with relationships, in life, nothing lasts forever. Nothing in life lasts forever. It's like I told my homeboy in marriage and relationships, hey, brother, it's either death or divorce. I told him, I said, bro, it's either death or divorce, man. Homeboy, I mean, like, we got to keep it real. It's either death or divorce. So, like, you either gonna die loving this woman or being with this woman, or y'all gonna have y'all differences. You're gonna have your differences, and y'all not gonna be together no more. You're gonna go your separate ways. That's the reality. So knowing that there's only two DDs, death or divorce, you got to have this type of mentality before you go into a relationship. If you don't, then when things go left, or when your relationship or your love gets challenged, then that's when it's going to be difficult for you to grasp with reality. See, that's why I don't want to say this in a negative way or I don't want to say this in a negative way. I don't want to say this in a how should I say this? Where this can sound I guess in a positive way. But y'all know how I am. This is the reason why when I go into relationships, I say to myself, okay, I'm in something new. There's a beginning and an end. I start something new. Where there's a beginning, there's an end. That's how I go into a relationship. Where there is a beginning, there's an end. So I take one day at a time. I continue to get to know this person. We can try to build. We can try to grow. But hey, at any moment, me or that person can die. At any moment, that person can wake up and say she doesn't want to be involved, or I can say I don't want to be involved anymore at any moment. Life can change just like this. You got to be well aware of this when you're going into a relationship. I'm going to tell you, loving somebody outside of you is one of the most bravest energies, the most bravest opportunities to step into or step up to. To take time outside of you to love somebody else. It's a commendable energy or experience. I respect it. But I'm telling you, just because a person says I love you, don't mean they truly or fully, wholeheartedly love you. Life will show you how much somebody loves you. Life will prove to you how much somebody loves you. Love is what love does. Oh, the way a person moves can prove how much they love you even after you ain't even with them. That lets you know if a person really loves you. Some folk, they ain't never loved you. They was just trying to survive. They were just trying to survive. They were surviving then. They were surviving then. They were just surviving, trying to survive with you. And now they're trying to survive without you. That's it. They just surviving. Because that's all they was taught to do. Our parents ain't parents. You got more parents out here being their daughter's homegirl. They their daughter's homegirl, or they're their daughter's like sister.
Daddy, come close, just Daddy.
They're their daughter's sister versus being mama. Look, girls want that mother and daughter relationship. Heck, it's more than want, they need it. Just like sons need that father and son relationship. It's needed. Now, the opposite sex is designed to teach you how to treat the opposite sex. But if you just talk to just survive, I'm going to tell you, if you talk to just survive, most of you going to grow up and your spirit is going to be molded into a wolf mentality. And you're going to become a Wolverine. You're just out here surviving. You don't know how to love. You don't know how to receive love. Don't know how to give love because you've only been taught how to survive. And it's unfortunate because you're no different from how they was functioning in slavery. Because the most consistent thing they was doing in slavery was trying to survive. And folk in relationships still trying to survive. Folk in families trying to survive. Folk in friendships trying to survive. But we wonder why friends ain't friends no more. Families ain't families no more. relationships ain't relationships no more. You wonder why? Because nobody knows how to properly love. Folk just out here trying to survive. And they're willing to do or use anybody they can to try to get ahead. And y'all got to be aware of that, because the reality is, man, if they trying to survive, the best position you could be for them is a friend. But not no marriage, not no relationship. They're not good for no relationship. Because they're going to use you. You're just using them. So, man, those who love and support me, like and share, man, feel good to be back. You know what I'm saying? Like and share. If I put it on your heart, or I bless you in some type of way, my Venmo, my Cash App is in the title. But I'm going to tell you something. You need to live. This shouldn't be about survival mode if you living right. If you taking care of your business and doing what you're supposed to be doing. When you got your business together, or you should be, or you getting it together, this shouldn't be about survival mode. I'm very firm on treating people how they want to be treated. The elder says, treat people how you want to be treated. That's what the elders say. I'm very firm on treating people how they want to be treated. Because here's the thing, you reap what you sow. I don't know why people don't believe in karma. You don't have to believe in karma for karma to handle you, treat you as such, give back to you what you sow. I'm telling you, like, what you do will come back to you. That's nobody is excluded from this rule. Not one soul. Nobody's excluded from that. So when it comes to this life, I treat people how I want to be treated. So my best notion is to move in love. I move in love. I move in good faith. I ain't never accomplished, won, and been able to do the things I've been able to do by snaking people, doing people wrong, lying, jucking and jiving, cheating, doing all this stuff that all these people think they got to do. You blocking your blessing. So the reality is, man, like, hey, treat people right, because whether they see it or not, you're going to have to pay the piper. It's what you put out there is what you're going to get back. I always say at the end of my life, you ain't on my life for me. You're on my life for you. You made that choice. Nobody put a gun to your head. I hope what I've said has been a blessing to you. Something inspired you. Something I said that has inspired you in some type of way. I also said at the end of my life, peace and love. A man functions off peace and a woman functions off love. If you take that man's peace, he's going to seek peace in some other person, place, or thing. If you play with that woman's love, she's going to seek love in some other person, place, or thing. Those facts. So don't pay the stupid tax of life or the prepayment penalty of life by acting a fool, being a fool, or moving in a certain type of way, all because you don't respect peace and love. Because what God will do is bring you to the front of the congregation of that good man or that good woman's life, and you're going to have to pay through the form of karma, witnessing that good man being peaceful, that good woman being loving, and them being successful and happy with somebody else. Because as the scripture says, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. He'll take it away. So that means what God gives to you that's God sent, if it's unappreciated, God will take it away and give it to somebody else. There's some men and women out here that'll say, I'll show you what to do with it. I've been praying for this. I'll show you what to do with her. I'll show you what to do with him. I've been praying for this. I've been praying for this for a long time. So God will always hold us accountable for our lack thereof. So don't be no fool. Change while there's opportunity for things to be changed. And make better choices and conscious decisions for your life. That's it. Man, it's been a wild week, a long week, but hey, man, hey, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be alive. Y'all better take advantage of this time you've been allotted today. It's Friday. Put a yay on your Friday. And if you can't yay your Friday, don't you take away nobody else yays. All because you ain't got no sense. All because you don't have enough sense to do what you need to do for what's best for you and your life and your family going forward. Don't ruin it for nobody else. You only got one life to live, and this is your moment. What are you going to do with it? I am J Piss Presents. I am your life coach, and class is dismissed. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Can you come to Henry's after you're done? Yeah. Alright, for sure. I got a jam.
Okay, you coming by surprise in my brand new whip, baby, beat me in the scope. If I'm gone, don't trip, baby, bring it back strong. Up the back, all his, baby. Yeah, who wanna shot, wanna die, let me know I got two on the hip and a neck. No nigga, they say you smooth like an R&B song. How you keep them hoes out, you man, they killing me, numero uno. Might kick shit like judo, giving out hoes, not kudos, body fat like Juno, yeah, I tell a bitch, eat it like Georgia Cat, you see the wrist, whip it like Border Chris, I got a crack, bigger than Border Piss, and the shots ain't bringing my storage back, from the loose to the trap in a white new nigga, D new to the top in a rock new Tiffany, say you smooth like an R&B song, how you keep them hoes out, you man, they killing me, coming by surprise, in my brand new whip, baby, beat me in the scope, if I'm gone, don't trip, baby, bring it back strong, up the back, all his, baby. Okay, you call me by surprise in my brand new whip, baby, beat me in the scope, if I'm gone, don't trip, baby, bring it back strong, up the back, all his, baby. It feel good since a nigga been back, but a nigga done change. We couldn't settle my fire, couldn't cover my pain. Lane. Swing. I see Gavin, be riding up. Boy, you always run around with a target on. If a nigga follow me to the car garage, I'ma spark it up. That's a Mac with a Mac and a Tonka trunk. Like my uncle's son, got some thumping her, like a trunk in her. When it's crunking her, when it's dumping her, I'ma spark it up. Okay, you call me by surprise in my brand new whip, baby, beat me in the scope. If I'm gone, don't trip, baby, bring it back strong. Up the back, all his, baby. Okay, you call me by surprise in my brand new whip, baby, beat me in the scope. If I'm gone, don't trip, baby, bring it back strong. Up the back, all his, baby.
One life to live, baby. One life to live. One life to live. One. Just one. One life to live. Just one. That's all you got. It's one. Please don't spend the rest of your day focusing on stuff that don't matter. Stop focusing on stuff you can't change nor you can't control. Focus on what you need to do. Because when you do what you need to do, it's going to put you in position to do the things that you want to do with your life before you die. I hope you caught that. One. Just one. You're only getting one. And when it's over, baby. It's over. So make today count with large amounts. Happiness, joy, peace, tranquility. All the fruits of the Spirit, things that are healthy for your self-growth. I am Jake Pitts presents I Am Your Life Coach. And class is dismissed. Time is of the essence, and it starts what? Right now. Right now. Make a decision. Love y'all, man. Enjoy y'all weekend. Put a yeah on your Friday, because how you spend your today gonna determine how you spend your weekend.